This player is one of my favourite Wonderkids in all of FM23, plenty of ability and potential, and if you follow the steps that we do in this video, you'll be able to pick him up for £500,000 and turn him into a world beater and a global superstar. So let's run the intro and get right into it. Hello everyone, Jake here for FMSCOUT. Welcome to another episode of Wonderkid to Superstar. As mentioned, today's player is a real gem. £500,000 or so is all you'll need to be able to sign him, and he can go on with a little bit of development if you follow our steps in this video to become a world-class player. Now, if you do enjoy this video, don't forget to smash the like button for us and let us know in the comments down below who you'd like to see in the next episode of Wonderkid to Superstar. And if you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, then feel free to do so and help us get to that 160,000 mark. But with that being said, let's go find our player. So firstly, we're heading over to the nation of Colombia and to the Colombian divisions just to show you if I go into this section here and then add or remove leagues. We don't have the Colombian divisions loaded. I've got the Spanish division and also the Argentinian division, but this player is in neither of those leagues, so it's just to show you that he should be in most of your saves. I've got the database size set to large, only 20,000 players in it, and he is still within this save, so he should be in most of yours as well. But we're heading over to Colombia and we're going down to one of the major clubs in the nation, Atlético Nacional. Now, if we go into their team and filter by all players and sort by age, you will see this player here, Oscar Perea. Now, he is someone that I've spoke about in a few list videos before, but we've never done a full Wonderkid to Superstar on him, and I thought we just have to do so because his price is so cheap and he's so effective for the player that he can become. When you consider his price and his potential, he's really a no-brainer, and I'll show you exactly why now. But first of all, the attributes that you're greeted with straight away. He's a 16-year-old under 17 Colombian capped international. He's quick, direct, can pass, good first touch, good finishing and dribbling. His whole game plan is to cut in on that right foot, take a shot and score. Now, I've seen another version of him in a different save where he had more crossing than finishing, so he might be a little bit different in your save dependent on how these attributes fall, but he's always one of those players that likes to cut in on that right foot and take a shot. Now, he's got great ability straight away, obviously not really ready for any kind of first team football just yet, but with a little bit of development he can certainly get there. His potential range is 140 to 170. On the higher end of that you're getting a world class player, and on the lower end of that you're still getting a player that's way worth the value of about £500,000, and you can see that is his transfer valuation here. Now, you can go ahead and approach to sign him. Obviously this is dependent on what division you're in the Spanish divisions, like we are here with Real Madrid. He doesn't want to join us yet through that method because he's too young and he won't be able to play just yet or come over to the country for a few years. If you look, we get this message that says he doesn't want to join Real Madrid because he won't be able to move in the near future. He'll have to wait a few years before he can join our team, but that shouldn't put you off your team and scouting him. Even if you do have to wait a year or so before picking him up, he's certainly worth doing that for. But for the sake of this video, we're going to use the in-game editor to bring him over to our side, and I'll show you everything that you can do to turn this man into an absolute world beater. Okay, so we've brought Oscar Perea here over to our Real Madrid team. We're going to be using him as the inside forward on this left-hand side throughout the simulation on the attack duty, hopefully cutting in on that right foot and taking some shots and maybe picking up some goals. How are we going to make him a world-class player though? Well, it's going to take some time. He is very young, and whilst he does have some good current ability, he needs a lot of time before he really gets up to first team standards. But for this simulation, we'll be forcing him into the first team early, getting him some game time, but it's not necessarily guaranteed you have to do that to make him a great player. But your first choice is where are you going to play him? I mean, he's natural on both flanks, but the fact that he's stronger on his right foot, I'm not really a fan of an out-and-out winger in Football Manager, so for me, he's someone that should be on the left, cutting in and taking shots with that finishing ability that he does have. So I'd be using him as an inside forward on the attack duty. I do believe he needs mentoring as well. We've got Luka Modric mentoring him here, as well as Karim Benzema. Hopefully they can rub off some of their influence, some of their determination and some of their personality onto Oscar Perea here, but he's very young and we wouldn't expect instant returns from him straight away. There's obviously some clear flaws in his game, but as time goes on you are going to see him become a totally different player. Training wise, we're going to keep it the same as we do for every player, just focusing in on that position, role / duty of inside forward attack. But if I was you guys and you had a player that looked like this, again he might look a little bit different in your save. I'll be training final third as his additional focus. That will increase his decision making and his composure, make it so that when he does does cut in, he makes the right decisions, whether to lay it off, to take the shot himself, and whether he slots it away or he panics and blasts it over the bar. Focusing in on the final third will hopefully help with that decision making, but either way, over the years, that will go up. He's a very young player. He's not really going to be first team ready for a couple of years, and by then, he'll be a totally different player to what you're seeing here. But stick with us, because you're about to see him blow your mind. Remember how cheap he was, and now we're going to forward ahead to see him on the lower end of that potential range. Okay, so the year is now 2025. We're 3 years in, and Oscar Perea is now 19 years of age. So he's getting to the level now where you'd want him to be making his way into the first team and contributing to our first 11, and he's certainly doing that. He's currently at about 142 current ability, so on the real low end of that potential range. If you got the worst version of Oscar Perea and developed him, he'd be looking something like this. You can see he's now very quick, very agile, and whilst there are still some flaws in his game, like his balance, like his concentration, he has got plenty of pros to go alongside that. This man is quick, makes great off the ball runs, he's a good passer, his vision has gone up a crazy amount since we last saw him. The technique is there, and it's the technical ability where he really blows you away. Like I say already, great passer and technique, but also the first touch, the finishing, the dribbling. If you converted him to a striker, I think he'd do a very good job, but we're using him as an inside forward on the attack duty here, and he has been doing very well in the in-game engine. He's now an international for Colombia, but you can see in his most recent season, he really turned things up. Season 1, he played fairly often, about half of the season, got 6 goals and 3 assists, and then in the second season, for some reason, the assistant manager said, you know what, we're not going to register him, we're not going to play him, and he only played 2 matches, which wasn't the best. But then this season, he's came into his own a little bit more, played a full year, got 15 goals and 14 assists with a 7.43 average match rating, and he's only 19 here. His transfer valuation is now 30 to 40 million. Remember, we picked him up for about £500,000 using the editor. Now, to let you guys know, I have bought him in my own saves personally, and I was also in the situation where he was too young to come over to the country. I had to wait a couple of years, and then I bought him, and his price had risen by then to about £1 million, £1.5 million, but that obviously depends on where you're managing and if you're able to get your hands on him straight away, and of course how he develops at his side in Colombia. But for the price that you can get him for, he is an absolute no-brainer, plenty of ability, but again, this isn't even him at his best. He's only 19 here. This is the worst version possible really of Oscar Perea, but now I'm going to show you just how good he can become. Okay, so it's 2033 now. We're 10 years on from where we originally started with Oscar Perea. Now, bear in mind here, he never actually reached his potential ability of 170. Currently, his current ability is about 164, 165, so he could be even better than the player that you're seeing here, but this is nearly him maxed out, and just look how good this guy is. We already knew he was quick and very good physically, but over the years that's got better. He's now got great pace, acceleration, stamina, and agility. He's going to be a nightmare for any defender. Then you go on top of that and say he's a great passer of the ball with amazing vision, off the ball work, passing range, and technique. He's got great first touch, can finish really well, and can dribble past pretty much any defender in world football. He's got great composure and anticipation, and if you've played FM this year, you'll likely have seen that a quick player can be very effective in the in-game engine. When you combine that with the fact that he's actually really good technically and mentally as well, there's a reason that he does so well in game. He's 27 years of age here, 15 goals and 41 international appearances, but for Real Madrid, it is a different story. He has been scoring for fun since we've had him in the team. You saw him last here. After that, he had a decent season, followed by a bunch of incredible seasons, including 1 year, getting 22 goals and 15 assists in 37 matches. Remember, this guy is valued at about £500,000 at the start of your save. He's an absolute gem, someone that could play at the highest level if he gets developed well enough. You don't have to play an active role in his development the way that I have done here, forcing him into games. You could let him sit in your development centre, loan him out, and after a few years, he might be ready for your first team and can have an absolutely huge impact on the way your team plays. On my channel that you can find linked in the description, we have a save with Aberdeen that's been going on for a while, and in that save we had Oscar Perea. You can see at this stage he's 21 and he's a different kind of player to the one we were just looking at. Not as good of a finisher in this world, but a great crosser of the ball. But you can see just how good he is. Again, just to prove to you, we waited a couple of years in this save, and after a good season, we picked him up for £1.8 million, and he's been really good since that moment. Now, obviously, he's not the level that he was in our Real Madrid simulation where we put him to the maximum, but just to show you this is how good he can be. As a side note, we also do some rebuilds on my channel and also some YouTube shorts about Wonderkids you might not have heard of. So if anyone wants to go ahead and check out my channel in the description after this and hit the subscribe button over there, you'd be an absolute legend. But we stopped Oscar Perea's simulation at the age of 30. He definitely could have gone on for a number of more years, but you can see just how good and just how consistent he was in an attacking phase for our Real Madrid team. I absolutely love him for his value. I think he is one of the best you can get in FM23. Let me know if you've used him down below and let me know who you'd like to see in the next episode. Smash the like button for me and I'll see you next time. Thank you and goodbye.